We are again here present today for the pre-bid conference for goods and services under the invitation to bid number 2024-010. We are live via YouTube in compliance to the Department Order number 6 series of 2024, which directs us to stream activities like this for accountability and transparency of procurement processes. Before we proceed, we will request the Secretariat for a roll call and include an acknowledgement of the guest present.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Present for today's activity, pre-bid conference for goods and services, October 23, 2024. Our chairperson, Engineer Lorna Birokin.
Present.
Vice chairperson, Engineer Leslie Birokin.
Present.
Regular member, Engineer Jeffrey C. Samon.
Present.
Provisional member, Engineer Edwin L. Haco.
Present.
Acting head from the procurement unit, Engineer Arthur Noel A. Lord.
Present.
Backup member, yours truly, Rosie Shea Bakay. From the back DWG, headed by Engineer Jeffrey and Mr. And our supply officer 1, Ms. Bibi Biligard. That's all, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Ms. Bakay, with the presence of the back chairperson. I hereby declare the quorum and call this meeting to order. We have a preset agenda for this activity. Number 1, brief presentation, explanation of the following. A, basic contract data. B, requirement of bidding documents. C, document to be submitted by the bidders. The technical component of the bid and financial component of the bid. D, criteria of procedure of eligibility check. 2, question, comments from bidders and replies of back and other representative of procuring entity. 3, other matters. The 3-strike policy against violation of section 69.1.I of the IRR of RE 9184. 4, summary of proceeding including supplemental bid bulletin to be issued. Any motion to adopt the agenda or any matters to be included in the agenda?
I move to adopt the present agenda.
I second the motion.
It has been moved by Engineer Samon and seconded by Engineer Gulito. And with no objection, the motion to adopt the agenda is hereby approved. Next in order of the business is the requirement of bidding documents we discussed by Engineer Arthur Noel A. Lord. Sorry. First in the order of the business is the explanation of basic contract data, including contract description, ABC, and duration. This will be presented by Ms. Ligardi.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
For invitation to bid, goods and services, invitation to bid number 2024-010, contract ID 24GLI0025 with PR number 2024-10-110 dated October 7, 2024. Name of contract, the supply and delivery of computer, IT equipment and accessories for use in the office of the District Engineer, DPWH Davao de Oro 2nd District Engineering Office, Compostela, Davao de Oro. Contract location, Davao de Oro, with a brief description of goods to be procured. The computer monitor 27 inches, Central Processing Unit, Intel Core i7 Gen. The computer keyboard, wired. Computer mouse, wired. Computer monitor, 24 inches, and 8 other items. Approved budget for the contract, 3,243,857 pesos and 11 centavos. Source of funds, EO CY 2024. Delivery dates of goods, 20 calendar days. Cost of bid documents, 5,000 pesos. Will be all, ma'am.
Thank you, Ms. Ligardi, for your explanation of the project to be procured by interested bidders. Next in the order of the business is the requirement of bidding documents, which will be discussed by Engineer Arthur Noel Ilo.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
To participate and qualify in our procurement activity, interested bidders are encouraged to read the following documents. Number 1, instructions to bidders, bidding receipt, general conditions of the contract, special condition of the contract, schedule of requirements, technical specifications, bill of quantities, and securities and other forms as may be required for the contract. Bidders are strongly advised to read each provision, especially the instruction to bidders and general conditions of the contract, whose special instructions are clearly spelled out in the bid data sheet and the special condition of the contract respectively. Bidders are also encouraged to check the bill of quantities so that your bid will be responsive to the requirements set forth in the bidding documents. These documents can be downloaded free of charge from the Belgians and DPWH websites. Interested bidders shall pay the applicable amount for the bidding documents not later than the submission of your bids. That's all, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Engineer Lore, for discussing this document. Next in order of the business is the documents to be submitted by the bidders and other reminders in the preparation and submission of sale. This will be discussed by Ms. Bakar.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The following documents that should be included by the interested bidders in their bids for the technical component of the bid, DTI or SEC registration, mayor's permit, statement of ongoing and similar completed government and private contracts, audited financial statements stamped received by the BIR, income tax return of the preceding year filed and paid through the BIR EFTS, computation of NFCC, tax clearance, PhilJEP certificate, bid security in the prescribed form, technical specifications, production or delivery schedule, warranty certificate if applicable, brochures of the offered equipment if applicable, omnibus sworn statement in accordance with the GPPB resolutions, and secretary certificate and board resolutions if applicable. For the financial component of the bid form, and the duly signed bid prices and the bill of quantities. Please be reminded that the following documents, omnibus sworn statement, bid form, and bid securing declaration, if you opted to this type of bid security, should be in standard format as per guidelines of GPPB Resolution number 16-2020. Kindly check the format of the documents you are using to avoid being declared non-responsive pursuant for using unprescribed format. These documents should be submitted using 2-envelope system. Bidders are urged to only fasten the documents at the topmost portion instead of hard or soft binding them. Each document should be ear-tagged appropriately. There shall be 3 copies of these documents, original, copy 1, and copy 2. Original copies of technical component of the bid shall be sealed on one envelope, and original copies of financial component of the bid shall be sealed on another envelope. These envelopes should be labeled as original copy of technical component and original copy of financial component. These labeled envelopes shall then be sealed into one envelope and label it as original copy of the bid. The same process of sealing for copies 1 and 2. Lastly, original copy, copies 1 and 2 of the bid shall be sealed into one final envelope and label it inappropriately as instructed in the bidding documents. Bidders are encouraged to read Section 15 of the Instructions to Bidders, page 14, to fully understand the sealing and marking of bids in case you did not catch up what I have said. Submit your bids personally here in our office on or before November 5, 2024, 10 a.m. Late bids will not be accepted. Further, on your bid form and bill of quantities, write legibly. Discrepancies between bid prices in words and figures, the words will prevail. Bids not addressing or providing or filling out all the required items in the bidding documents, such as in the bill of quantities, the bid is considered non-responsive and is outright disqualified. Always check your documents before submitting the same to our end to avoid disqualification of your firm. That's all, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Ms. Bakay, for discussing the documents to be submitted by the bidders and some gentle reminders in the preparation of their documents. Next in the order of the business is the explanation of the criteria and procedure of eligibility check, preliminary examination of bids, detailed evaluation of bids, post-qualification, status of ongoing projects and award. This will be explained by Engineer G.P. Eliseo.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
The criteria for eligibility check is set forth in Section 23 of the revised IRR of RA 9184. All prospective bidders should have an updated Class A legal, technical, and financial documents and Class B documents if you opt to have a joint venture agreement, if that is applicable. These documents were already discussed by Ms. Bakay a while ago. So during the opening bids, the first envelope, which contains the technical component of the bid, will be opened. After opening the first envelope, the BAC will conduct the preliminary examination of the technical components of the bid, simultaneous with the eligibility check, vis-a-vis checklist. Bidders who pass the preliminary examination of the technical proposal, the financial proposal will also be open. All open financial components of the bid will undergo preliminary examination. If passed, the presiding officer will read the bid amount stated in the bid form. The BAC, through the help of the technical working group, will immediately conduct a detailed evaluation of the bids using non-discretionary criteria, considering first completeness of the bid and then second arithmetical corrections. Bids shall then be ranked in ascending order of their total calculated bid prices as evaluated and corrected for computational errors and other bid modifications to identify the lowest calculated bid. The lowest calculated bid shall undergo post-qualification in order to determine whether the bidder concerned complies with and is responsive to requirements and conditions as specified in the bidding documents. This is pursuant to Section 34 of RA 9184. If found to be responsive, the bidder will be declared lowest or single calculated and responsive bid and will be recommended for the award of the contract. If found to be non-responsive, the committee will conduct post-qualification to the next lowest calculated bid ranked during the bid evaluation stage. Reminders for the prospective suppliers: in case of the original copy of the BOQ or the Bill of Quantities should be handwritten and be limited to 2 decimal places only and shall be signed by the duly authorized representative. Please take note that this is under goods and services. We have no system yet for electronic submission, so the mode of submission of your bids will be manual submission. The deadline of the submission of your bids will be on November 5, 2024 until 10 a.m. The place of the opening of bids will be at Davao, here, temporarily located at DPWH Davao de Oro, First District Engineering Office, Nabuturan, Davao de Oro. That's all, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Engineer Eliseo, for that discussion. We're now through with Agenda 1, and we will proceed to Agenda 2. Question, comments from bidders, and replies of BAC and other representative of procuring entity. Any questions?
And so far, Madam Chair.
Okay, if there is none, we will proceed to other matters. The three-strike policy against violation of Section 69.1.I of the IRR of RE 9184 to be discussed by Engineer Adrian J.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
In order to establish a clear and transparent system for managing offenses committed by bidders in the procurement of infrastructure, goods, and consulting services, projects through public bidding, the Department of Public Works and Highways, DPWH, hereby introduces an updated three-strike policy. This policy is aimed at enforcing adherence to the procurement guidelines stipulated under Section 69.1.I of the 2016 Revised Implementing Rules and Regulation (IRR) of Republic Act RA 9184. Under this policy, if a bidder commits 3 offenses acts described as all others acts that tend to defeat the purpose of competitive bidding, they shall be subjected to an administrative penalty. These offenses acts are further classified into 3 major categories. Classification of offenses that triggers the three-strike policy and exception. 1. Withdrawal from the bidding process, submission of non-participation later, or failure to submit a bid after purchasing the bid documents. However, the Bids and Awards Committee BAC recognized certain valid reasons for this action. If the bidder, after reviewing the bidding documents and evaluating the available market options, determines that the required goods or supplies either are not available or that the available alternatives do not meet the specified technical specification. Additionally, if providing the specified goods or supplies would require the bidder to incur costs exceeding the competitive and financially viable range, or if adherence to the specification would lead to a bid price that is not economically favorable, the bidder may withdraw. To validate this reason, the bidder should present an affidavit demonstrating that participating in the bid under this condition will be financially unsustainable. 2. Submission of late bids without a valid reason as determined by the BAC. Exceptions will be considered under extraordinary circumstances, such as force majeure. This refers to unexpected and unavoidable external events that will impede or prevent bidder from timely and bid submission as defined in Article 1174 of the Philippine Civil Code. 3. Submission of patently insufficient bid. A patently insufficient bid refers to a bid that fails to include or comply with certain mandatory requirements. The determination of whether bidder committed such an offense may occur. 3A. During eligibility screening and or shortlisting. A1. Submission of an expired certificate of Philippine Government Electronic Procurement System (PhilGIPS) registration, platinum membership, or a certificate of PhilGIPS certification containing expired Class A legal and financial documents as determined during the eligibility screening. 3B. During bid evaluation. 3.1. Failure to submit required bid forms as outlined in Annex C detailing the complete list of required bid forms. B.2. Submission incomplete, insufficient, or defective documents due to the uninclusion or omission to mandatory provision and statement for the required bid forms as per Annex C outlining the mandatory provision of required forms. B.3. Submission of an unnotarized bid securing declaration, an omnibus form statement, and joint venture agreement or statements from all the potential joint venture partners, with the exception during the declaration of state of calamity or implementation of community quarantine or similar restriction declared of being implemented either in the locality of the procuring entity or of the bidder. And B4, submission of the bid form, price schedules, bid securing declaration, omnibus form statement, and joint venture agreement without the name, legal capacity, and signature of the bidder or is an authorized representative. C. During post-qualification. 1. Participation in bidding for consulting services or goods and services contracts by a bidder whose business type category, as indicated on the mayor's permit, does not match or unrelated to the contract being bid for, as determined during the post-qualification process. 8. Enforcement and penalties. If a bidder commits any of 3 major offenses acts listed above 3 times within a year starting from the approval date of the resolution recommending an imposition of three strike 1. First warning, which is counted as day 1 to the day 365, and if these 3 offenses are of a similar or identical nature, it will be trigger the enforcement of the stipulated administrative penalty, suspension from participating in all DPWH procurement activities, and entering into the contract with the DPWH procuring entity. Subsequently, as per the procedure outlined in Annex A, this may result in the blacklisting of the suspended bidder thereby disqualifying the bidder from participating in the government procurement activities for a period of 1 year. In conjunction with blacklisting, the bidder will also face the bid security forfeiture and must comply with the enforcement of the bid securing declaration condition. In more severe instances, when a bidder commits another set of 3 similar offenses or more than 2 sets of 3 similar instances, when more than 6 similar offenses occur with the same 1 year time frame, the bidder may be subjected to an increased penalty, resulting in blacklisting for a period of 2 years. The effective duration for the penalty, either 1 or 2 years, as applicable, will be clearly stipulated in the blacklisting order, with a provision that duration in blacklisting shall not exceed a maximum period of 2 years, commencing on the date the blacklisting order is approved and issued by the Secretary. That's all, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Engineer Jacob. We will now proceed to the last agenda, summary of proceeding, including supplemental bid bulletins to be issued, to be presented by Engineer Leslie Gulito.
Madam Chair, good morning everyone.
Good morning.
All the needed information were discussed and explained by the resource persons. I would like to remind the prospective bidders to visit from time to time the DPWH and PELJAP's websites, especially within 7 calendar days prior to the deadline of the submission of bids for supplemental or bid bulletins to be issued thereafter. Please also be reminded that the opening of bids will be on November 5, 2024, 10 o'clock p.m. That's all, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Engineer Gulito. All of the business in the agenda were already taken into consideration. May I know the pleasure of the body?
I move to adjourn this private conference for goods and services.
I second the motion.
It has been moved by Engineer Jacob and seconded by Engineer Samun, and with no objection, the motion to adjourn this conference is hereby approved. The conference is now adjourned. Thank you.